So now I am shooting with the Canon PowerShot V1. Probably the only Canon PowerShot camera that you will always mention the full name, the PowerShot V1, because it's weird to say that, oh, this is the V1. What V1? Last time I looked at it, I thought it's really something, because it sounds like a much better ZV1. This got a bigger sensor. Now, quick recap. This got a 1.4-inch sensor, basically around the same size as Micro Four First, so bigger than the ZV1, bigger than RX100. Those are really popular. But like the ZV1, when it was new, it sounds like pretty good. But now, smartphone actually make arguably better video than the ZV1. But this one got a bigger sensor. This sounds good, isn't it? And it got lens optical image stabilization. The Sony only got like digital stabilization, the ZV1 Mark II. So this sounds good, but is it? Is it though? First, let's look at the image quality. For now, I'm still shooting with the TV mode that I set the shutter speed, and then everything else, the aperture and ISO are auto. Actually, I forgot that if the how is the ND filter? Let me check. Yes, ND filter is on auto as well. Yes, it got a built-in ND filter, three-stop ND filter. Oh, and I'm still using auto white balance. So the image quality, the color won't be the best. To get the best out of this camera, you have to shoot with C-Log. So this is C-Log 3, slightly better. Shooting with log profile, you have to do color correction in when you do video editing. So yeah, this is just like I tried it last time. The image quality is alright. Now if we compare to my S9, of course there will be some difference. The S9 would be slightly better. Of course, it's a full frame camera, but in some situation, there's not a huge difference actually. Yeah, this is highly unscientific, but I always think there's a place for this kind of real-world situation comparison. So I'm not going to, and I can't give you a figure about, oh, is it one stop better or something. But at least in here, the PowerShot V1, you can see the sky just only slightly more overblown than a full-frame S9. And sometimes they are simply identical. Of course, there are instances that you can see the S9 is slightly better. While backlighting situation is when you really see the limitation of PowerShot V1 dynamic range. This week is actually, is it a week or a day or something? I don't know. This is actually around the Chelsea flower show. So every year around this area there will be flower decoration in these shops as well. In a lot of, outside, a lot of shops as well. So yeah, that's why so many people and flowers everywhere. But one thing more obvious is low light situation, and you can already see that in my first log video before. The PowerShot V1 is simply obviously noisier. Okay, maybe I'm trying to justify using a full-frame camera, or maybe not. Now one thing I mentioned is that it has a built-in ND filter, three-stop ND filter. That is pretty good, which is essential if you actually care about the video shooting, because I mentioned I have to shoot at 1/50 of a second, it's really bright, you need an ND filter, but three-stop, not actually that enough. I mean, today is cloudy and I'm under the trees as well. This is actually not that bright, but I'm shooting at ISO 800 because I'm shooting S-Log, the lowest ISO I can get without using the extend ISO is 800. Now I'm using f6.3, so you don't really see much shallow depth of field. My background isn't, I don't think there's blur at all. I can't see from this screen. I mean, yeah, I keep comparing to my S9. Of course, the S9 got a full frame sensor, but you can see the difference. Especially I can use anti-filter on my S9. It's a normal, you use a normal interchangeable lens. Yeah, the thing is you can't put any anti-filter on top of the V1 lens. PowerShot V1. It's weird to just call it V1. I'm sure some manufacturer would make some kind of adapter for it, because I have seen filter adapter for RX100. I'm sure there will be one for PowerShot V1. Here, I can use an anti-filter, so I am shooting at f3.5, and with the full frame sensor, yeah, I do get a little bit of shallow depth. I get a little bit of blurry background. That's why I always like to shoot with full frame. All right, what if I shoot with some kind of intelligent auto mode? Nope, there's no subject, there's no background separation. Actually, there is a little bit of blurry background when I watch it on my computer. Just not when I was shooting and looking at that little 3-inch screen. Now again, I'm using intelligent auto, using a built-in mic as well. Now everything auto, intelligent. I think the mic, as I tried it last time, is just okay. It's just so-so. I mean, it's just a normal built-in mic. And I think I forgot to bring the wind block as well. But it's not that windy, we'll see. So I think these days, anybody who slightly serious about video shooting know that you have to buy one of these wireless mics to drastically improve your video. But that's why I don't really care about, oh, is the built-in mic good? Because nobody should use it. Nobody should use built-in mic at all. So this is supposed to be a compact camera, but if you look at some other compact camera, you can see the size difference. There's another one, GR. If you look at like this, it's not that much bigger, but if you look at it like this, it's quite a lot difference. I mean, like two of them. This is a compact camera. This is pocketable. This is compact camera, pocketable. This, not so pocketable. But this is not to compete with other compact camera, because it's not. Because it is a vlogging camera, because this is an all-in-one solution for everything you need for vlogging. I mean, it used to be something like this, RX100, but it's lacking a lot of things. Sensor is small. Not until RX100 Mark 7, you can't put in external mic, and then when you shoot 4K, it overheats within. It's overheat before I screw up my 9. I have shown you the camera body of this before, but let's quickly go through it. Of course, it got a flip out screen. It got this switch between photos and video. Oh yeah, it still takes photos. All the ports on the right side, which we'll see, is a little bit annoying, not a big problem, you'll see later. There's a tiny light when you shoot. But the main thing, why is it so big? I think, other than it's got a bigger sensor, it's a micro four thirds sensor, but it's not the main problem, because this have an APS-C size sensor, much bigger than this, still has a smaller body. But this have a cooling fan inside. This is why this is so big. So I like that from the original Canon R5, which have the infamous overheat problem. And then later, they add in a heat scale display on the display so that you can plan your shooting. And then R5 Mark II got some cooling channel, but you need an external cooling fan grip for it to work the best. But now you got that on the camera this size. I like that they are serious about solving this problem. But why cooling fan? The Sony ZV-1 doesn't need one. At least I tried under 23 degrees Celsius under the sun, although it has a smaller sensor and it only do 8-bit video. Now naturally, I will have to test the PowerShot V1 under the heat, and that calls for my high-tech temperature control testing chamber, as long as there's nothing. I will keep it around 35 degrees Celsius, and I have preheat a camera to simulate the camera that is actually under a hot climate. The one thing I can't simulate is the sun. Shooting 4K 25p with lens stabilization on. Again, I like that Canon is the only one that shows you exactly how close it is to actually overheating in real time. At the end, the battery lasts for 1 hour and 18 minutes, which it never overheats at all, which is impressive for a camera this size and already doing way better than what it is intended for. We also find out that the battery shoots for continuously 1 hour and 18 minutes, but what about in real life situation? I'm not sure if Canon gave me a old battery, but it was full and now it's not. I'm only shot for like 1 hour. So yeah, now I have to put in a USB power and it's on the right side. How am I going to hold this camera? It kind of works, but it's still a little bit annoying on this side. Whatever I hold it. Yeah, well, it still works. So you will probably need to buy extra spare batteries. And these days, cameras don't even come with a proper charger. Expect you to charge your battery in the camera. But that's alright, there are excellent chargers like this, Nano, sponsor of this video. Now there are two options. This is just a charger. It charges two batteries at the same time faster than the original Canon charger. USB-C PD support up to 18 volts, so it can charge both batteries at the same time, under 1.5 hours. I like that when you put in a battery, it just shows you the battery life immediately, even without plugging in the power. And you can also get a package that comes with two batteries as well. This, you can charge it directly with USB-C ports here. So this is this and this is that as well. This is a power bank as well. On top, you also put in your two batteries. This got built-in battery, so it can charge your camera battery when you're out. What I like about this is it don't start charging the battery right when you put in the battery. You have to press a button for it to start charging because it's not good to keep your battery always on full. Two USB port labeled in and out. So yes, this can charge your other device, charge your phone, or you can charge your spare battery and charge your camera at the same time. So check this out, Nano charger and power bank charger. They got one for Canon, got one for Nikon, Sony obviously, and you can find the link in the description down below to purchase, and also a discount code for Amazon US store. So stabilization, this has lens built-in optical stabilization. So the lens element that move to achieve stabilization. And this is all right. I mean, these days we have lower tolerance on shaky video because stabilization are getting better. And this kind of stabilization, I think it was pretty good back then, but now it's a little bit shaky. Personally, I'm fine with this, but most people's perception, because the stabilization on smartphone again is so good. Some smartphone got optical stabilization these days, and the digital stabilization is so good. And of course, most people on smartphones shoot with higher shutter speed, so digital stabilization is not a problem as well. This also got digital stabilization. So yeah, it crops in just a little bit with the digital stabilization. It makes it quite a lot more stable. It's a little bit robotic to my taste. It's a little bit unnatural to my taste, but I think most people would rather have this kind of stabilized footage. It also had this enhanced digital stabilization, make it even more stable. You might see more motion blur in your footage. I mean, when you apply a really strong stabilization, you are going to get those kind of motion blur because you can't remove motion blur. In comparison to optical stabilization, the image hitting the sensor is already stabilized, no matter it's lens OIS or sensor shift stabilization. So there's less motion blur, and any motion blur got recorded is proportional to the motion, so it looks natural. With digital stabilization, the image is stabilized after all the recorded motion blur, results in more motion blur than motion, which look unnatural and weird. This is one problem with Sony, which is now relying a lot on digital stabilization. With this camera, I've also seen people online complain about, oh, the edges is wobbling, something weird about this camera. The edges are weird. The edges, they got warp stabilization going on. Don't buy this camera because it got these wobbling edges. It's just the lens distortion. When you don't have stabilization, you will see this kind of lens distortion. This is normal. But when your footage is stabilized, you see the image is not moving a lot, but then you still see those lens distortion. That's why you got these weird wobbling edges. It's not something wrong with this camera. Only camera these days on this market doesn't have this problem is Panasonic camera with a digital stabilization that actually corrects those lens distortion. This is normal. This is physics, guys. This is science. Last but not least, it do take photos as well, and it do a decent job. Human detection works well as you would expect these days, but especially the AI servo focusing, as long as AF tracking works well enough as well. This is the mode that you can track anything on the screen without it recognized as any subject at all. Shame that there is no EVF, but mostly it's fine. Probably won't be my primary photo camera, but it's not intended to be one anyway. It's a great hybrid camera, quick and easy to switch between photos and video, so it is actually good. It's definitely a better choice than Sony's Z-V1 series. This is a great all-in-one, well, just add a microphone, vlogging solution, very wide lens for vlogging, lens stabilization without motion blur problem, with digital stabilization options. Video quality decent enough, unless you are nerdy like me, just really want that slightly better dynamic range that nobody cares but myself.